Moving forward and letting go is one of the hardest challenges of retirement. What is it that's holding you back? If it's anything like me, it's because you got stuck in your own past. That's where I was in the early years of retirement. In this video, I'll share with you 5 powerful mindset shifts that got me unstuck. This video is for you if you're stuck, living in the past, still defined by that early adulthood career choice that you made, burdened by the mistakes of the last 20 or 30 years, by a storyline that no longer serves you. If you really want to enjoy your retirement and the freedom that it can give you, that you've really earned over the last 3 or 4 decades, you must let go. Don't look in the rearview mirror. So many people think that retiring is all about money. And yes, money is very important. Of course it is. You've got to have enough money to have a good retirement. But it's not the only thing. I would go so far as to say this thing that I'm going to talk about now is even more important. The thing I'm referring to is freedom. Money gives you financial freedom, but it's your mind that gives you true freedom. If your mind is still trapped in the past, full of emotional clutter, then you'll never move on. If you're there still thinking about regret, shame, guilt, things that you've missed out on, mistakes that you've made, whether that be in relationships or your job, career, whatever it is for you, thinking that you've had an unfulfilling life, in this video I'll show you how to let go of those old patterns and start living like the person you want to become. These lessons helped me shift from just surviving in early retirement to thriving, and they can do the same for you. Even though I retired at 44, I was stuck in the past for years. My retirement wasn't planned, it happened very quickly. It was a knee-jerk reaction to a series of events that happened in my life. The death of my father, the chance to sell my business. I've talked about these at length in previous videos, so I won't go over them today. If you're interested in them, go back and have a look at some of my other videos. The reality is, I wasn't ready to retire. I know that now, but I didn't then. For the next 4 or 5 years after I retired, I had this nagging feeling of unfinished business. And what that led to was me feeling lost. I started to replay the old failures. The more I replayed those failures, the more lost I became. And the more lost I became, the more unfulfilled in my retirement I became. The challenge for me was letting go of things that had been my drivers in my 20s, my 30s and 40s. These were things that served me very, very well when I was a young adult, but at the point I'd reached midlife, they were not serving me at all, so something needed to change. The sort of thing I'm talking about is I was still craving recognition. I still had a chip on my shoulder. I was still driven to some extent by money, and definitely by stuff. If you'd have met me at 45, 46 or 47, you'd have seen me chasing possessions and stuff all the time. As my 50s progressed, I became even more disillusioned. You could argue that I was even depressed. Although I was never clinically diagnosed, I never went and sought help for it. I kept trying things to dig myself out of the hole. But with each mistake and each cul-de-sac, the hole just got bigger. My mood worsened. And then I started to think I was too old. It was too late to start new things. At this point, I'd only be in my early 50s, so it was absolutely ridiculous to think that I was finished at that kind of age. But you know what? That's exactly how I felt. I blamed everyone and everything except myself. I hate to admit that it took me nearly 10 years to sort myself out and figure it out. I've talked in a previous video how I worked on 6 pillars as an operating system to shape my life after 50. So again, I won't go into detail in this video. I'll leave a link below and you can check that video out. But the 6 pillars were core to what I did. What they enabled me to do was shift my thinking. I started letting go of the old narratives. The narrative of feeling that I had unfinished business and that my failures of the last 10 years were down to other people and not me. Once I changed this thinking, I stopped going around in circles. And at last, I started moving forward. There were still plenty of hurdles to overcome, more mistakes to be made, and I went down more cul-de-sacs. But rather than seeing the negative in them, I saw the positive in them. I started seeing them as experiments, not failures. Just things that I'd tried that hadn't worked out, but that were going to get me nearer to where I wanted to really be. Right, let's get into the meat of the video. Here are the 5 mindset shifts that I made that enabled me to move on and let go. Number 1, let go of your personal history. Your past can be a prison if you let it. It does not define you. You are not defined by a career choice that you made when you were 21 or 22. That's the age I was when I chose to go into the profession in which I built my success. But by the time I hit my mid-50s, I was not defined by that. Because the reality is that decision was made a long time ago, and everything that happened as a result of making that decision is gone. We all make mistakes in life. With our jobs and our relationships, there are lots of mistakes to be made. But it's really, really important just to learn from those mistakes and not dwell upon them. Stop looking in that rear view mirror. Forget about your personal history. Now is all that matters, and it's time to move on to better things. The second mindset shift that I made was I started to live in the moment. The present moment is all that matters. It's the only place that anything actually happens. What you are doing this very minute is the only thing that will keep you moving forward to the place that you really want to be. I've heard a quote, "The wake doesn't drive the boat." I think it's attributed to Dr. Wayne Dyer, but regardless of who it's attributed to, the reality is the boat, i.e. you, moves forward because of what you do now, not what's behind you. Your past does not predict the future. The third mindset shift that I made was to reframe failure to solve problems. You must not fear failure. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. Things are not going to work out as you had hoped. It's all part of the process of learning, growing, changing. But it's very important, if you want to move on, that you reframe failure as experiments. Experiments that didn't work out. Learn the lessons from them, then move on. And don't be frightened to keep experimenting. Practice reframing it. Think of failure as feedback. My fourth mindset shift was to act as if you are already what you want to become. If you want to be retired and free, start behaving as if you already are. A powerful practice to help you with this, which I use every day, are I am statements. For example, here's an I am statement that I wrote a couple of years ago before I started on this YouTube journey. I'm enjoying creating and sharing content on YouTube to improve the lives of my 100,000 or more subscribers. When I wrote that statement, I didn't have one single subscriber and I hadn't even posted a video, but I already started thinking as if it had happened. Now, I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. 48,000 subscribers and the best part of 80 videos, and with a fair wind, and if you keep supporting me, hopefully I will get to the 100,000 that I was putting in that I am statement. So here's what I did. I started thinking from day one that I was already that person. Every day I looked at that statement to help drive me on, to motivate me, to make more videos. And that's what I do with all of my I am statements. I've got a whole list of them. I won't bore you with them here because they're personal to me, but they relate to everything from travel to fitness, cars even. Can't really get that one completely out of my system, even though I've tried very, very hard. And here's how it works. It's like feeding a supercomputer. You're the supercomputer. You feed it in and hopefully you get some good stuff out. If you feed it crap, you'll get crap out. If you feed good stuff in, you'll get good stuff out. Some people call it cosmic ordering. My good friend Ellis, who I went up to meet recently, I don't know if you saw that video, he believes in cosmic ordering. Some people call it the law of attraction. I don't know, that all sounds a bit woo-woo to me. All I know is that if I write things down and I take a picture of things that I want to be, it somehow manages to come together and work. I think the science behind it is that your subconscious mind starts focusing on it and starts putting the pieces together so that one day it comes to pass. and that's certainly what I found. The final mindset shift that I made, number 5, avoid thoughts that weaken you. Self-defeating thoughts drain your energy and momentum. You have to learn to spot them quickly. I'm sure you recognise some of them. I'm too old. It's too late for me to do that. Recognise any of those in yourself? They're pretty common once you get over 50. Thinking that you're too old or it's too late to do something. The best way to counter them is to replace them with statements like these. I'm just getting started. I can learn. Today's a new shot. My mind is a sponge. Do you get the difference? You're in your 50s or you're in your 60s. How on earth can you think you're finished and you've got nothing else to learn when you might have another 20, 30, 40 years even left on this planet? That's a hell of a long time to be not growing and moving forward and learning new things and skills. Here's the reality. Your inner dialogue becomes your reality. So make sure that you stay around people and content that uplifts you. You have to continue to nurture a growth mindset. It's a mindset that changes your circumstances. Remember, it's never too late to take action to improve your life. So that's it. Those are the 5 mindset shifts that I made that changed my life, made me transform into the person that I am today, happy, fulfilled, and hanging out with people whose company I enjoy. And after all, isn't that what retirement's about? Enjoying yourself and having the freedom to do whatever you want, when you want, with whoever you want. Well, I think that's the definition of retirement. Maybe you think differently. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. Retirement is so much more than just quitting a job or a career. It's an opportunity to reinvent your life for the next 20, 30 or 40 years. It's a chance to let go of who you were so you can move on to who you want to be. The key to that reinvention is just to start making small, simple changes today. I recommend you start with the simple I am statement. What would be your I am statement? Share that in the comments too. I'd be interested to hear. If you need a little bit of help with your retirement, with putting together your I am statement, your vision board, your plan, your blueprint, your strategy for a very good retirement, then I do work with a small number of people on a one-to-one basis as a mentor. If that's something that would interest you, me mentoring you one-to-one, then why not book in for a call? Let's have a chat about it. You'll find a link in the description below. If you found this video useful, check out this one next. It's the one thing that you must stop doing if you want to make retirement easier. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.